It may be a cliche to say that every year is much bigger than the one that came before it, but 2023 truly represents that cliche is true. Here on Democratic Newsroom in a new episode, I'm joined by my colleagues today to talk about not just a year that has gone by, but more importantly, what the biggest story in 2024 is likely to be. 2023 has been a year full of the biggest stories, from Manipur here in India to Israel, which has consumed the entire world. India has reached the moon through Chandrayaan. Elon Musk bought Twitter, and so much else, including artificial intelligence this year becoming really part of the mainstream. But what does 2024 have in store? And more importantly, what do each one of us here on the Democratic Newsroom believe will be that big 2024 story? Rahul Kanwal, Rajdeep Sardesai, Nikhil Naz and Akshita Nandagopal are with me on this brand new episode, which I hope won't be the last this year. We're going to do some more, but this is going to be an important one. Rajdeep, we'll start with you.
I want to come last because I want to hear what others say.
Okay, then we'll say, okay.
I'll start.
I was trying to go with seniority, but Rahul goes with it. Done.
So, 2024, to my mind, is going to be the year of elections. You got elections in India, you got elections in the US, you got elections in the UK, you got elections in South Africa, you got elections in Indonesia, you got elections in Pakistan, you got elections in Russia and in Mexico. So for all political junkies, and these are big countries going to polls, these are going to be big elections, and these are the first set of elections which will be fought in the age of artificial intelligence. We saw in Argentina recently how AI and deepfakes really queered the pitch for all players, how they were used positively and negatively. So in the year of elections, in the era of artificial intelligence, it's a bit of a cliche shiv in these year-end shows, but quite literally in uncharted territory, where the manner in which AI gets used, the manner in which deepfakes, for example, get used, will the system be even able to regulate and stop that? Because, for example, just the day prior to polling, you put out through the WhatsApp armies that have been created across parties and circulate down to the polling booths any message you want. Before the EC can react, before the channels get wind of it, the message has gone viral. Yeah. And remember, the recent Access My India post-poll data suggests that about 20% plus people are deciding who they want to vote for in the last 3 days, in 72 hours before polling.
Amazing.
And with these big countries, some of these elections, like in the US, being fought and won and lost with very narrow margins, we really are in a zone where nobody is quite certain of what that X factor. Rajdeep usually has these X factors he likes. They're often predictable, Rajdeep. This time there's an X square because you don't know what might be lurking somewhere in the dark web.
You want to go right at the end, or you want to jump in now? Election, says Rahul.
No, he's spot on. This is as big an election year as you can get. And also, I'll just add, an election year where history could be created. You could have Narendra Modi becoming the first Prime Minister since Jawaharlal Nehru to win 3 consecutive elections. He's clearly odds-on favorite to do that. You could have Joe Biden becoming the oldest president of the United States, or you could have Donald Trump becoming the first president after having been charged and facing various
and disqualified in one case,
and being disqualified and then bouncing back to become the president. You could have Rishi Sunak of Indian origin. He's prime minister, but now he'll have to face the electorate. Could he win? You could have Pakistan throwing up all kinds of surprises. I was just hearing that Imran Khan may be getting bail. There's a lot of confusion over what role will he play. But clearly Pakistan is in a complete mess, and will the elections salvage that country? So I think elections are going to be huge. If there's one other thing that I'm really looking forward to, it's the Paris Olympics. This is an Olympic year, and I just think that India has turned the corner in sport as well. So, the joy of, say, maybe the hockey team, it's been my great dream to watch India win the hockey gold. India won the hockey gold last in 1964.
Yeah.
Then I was born in 65. And the only year we won it since then was 80, when the tournament was slightly denuded because the Olympics had a boycott. So I'm looking forward to India winning the Olympic hockey gold. That would really set me up. And I think, we'll throw up another Neeraj Chopra-like figure.
So if you're looking for in the World Cup,
if you're looking for trivia, there are 40 national general elections which will happen next year. This accounts for 41% of the global population. That's almost 4 in 10 people who live in the world will have to decide. 40% of the global population goes to polls, and 42% of global GDP goes to polls in 2024.
So it's decision year.
So this is the year of election intelligence. This is the year where India today really brings its best game to the park, because this is really the year of the election.
We should have a global EI next year. Ready for global EI? All the big countries. We can't do all 41, but maybe something like that. Akshita, you've had a busy year as well. You were all over the country. Elections to our moon mission. What are you looking forward to most in 2024?
It's been a fun year, but I think first of all, 2024, I'm definitely planning a visit to Ayodhya for the Ram Mandir.
Ram Mandir is right next month.
Since we're talking about politics.
Yeah.
So that's something that's definitely on my checklist. But away from that, because you spoke of the moon mission, I think what I'm most excited by is India's space journey. And I think next year in 2024, we've got so much to look forward to. We've got a tie-up with NASA coming up for NISAR, which is going to essentially study the Earth's ecosystem. Mangalyaan 2, something to look forward to. Gaganyaan, which all of us have been talking about. There's going to be a test flight, I think, that happens somewhere between January and Feb. We don't have a timeline yet, so it could happen 2024 or 2025, but we're hoping that everything goes on track for that. So lots to look forward to on that front. We're going to be also going ahead with a mission called chandrayaan, which is focusing on the Venus for the very first time.
Yeah.
So I think what would get me very, very excited is if we made leaps and bounds in the space sector, which I see happening, because the Prime Minister has also said that we're going to have our own space station by 2025.
With NASA, yeah.
For that to happen, I think 2024 is extremely crucial.
So Akshita, a resident science girl, taking her obsession with space lately very, very seriously, all our space programs. Nikhil, World Cup, yes. Paris Olympics, another Neeraj Chopra perhaps. What are you looking forward to most?
The most that I'm looking forward to is chilling on the beaches of the West Indies, because that's where the next T20 World Cup
This is really unfair. This is really unfair.
No, it's just after the elections. I thought India today has decided that all those who've covered the elections for rest and recuperation will go to the West
They
Indies
get to go there.
to cover the world. Sorry, Nikhil, you're out.
We'll send you, Rajdeep, because it's in 2 countries. We'll send you to the US. You'll enjoy it there. I'll go to the West Indies.
Rajdeep, you can do
2 countries.
You've been to the West Indies before?
Many times.
Yeah, so I've never been there.
Rajdeep, you should do cricket on my plate next.
I'd love to do it. I'm ready to do rum on my plate if it takes me to the West Indies. No problem.
Cricket on my plate with rum.
That's right, with rum.
So that's the beauty about ICC.
That's the beauty about Nikhil's job. That's all.
No, that's also the beauty about the ICC, because every year we're looking back at India not being able to win a World Cup. So what they've done is every year we have a World Cup. So we missed out with the disappointment of the last World Cup. We missed out at the final. We've got another one that's happening in the West Indies as well as the US. Paris Olympics, I mean, that's something I'm looking forward to.
So who could be the next Neeraj Chopra?
I think Kishore Jina. He's
the javelin guy.
Yeah, the
Who
javelin
came
guy.
second.
Finished second at the Asian Games. But dare I say, I don't want to be a party spoiler in that sense. I know everyone's looking forward to the Paris Olympics. We've heard from the IOA president on India Today say we'll better that mark of 7. But I was just doing my calculation, permutation, combination. Dare I say we might fall short of the 7 that we got last time. I'm doing my math. I'm even looking at other sports like hockey. You were primed to win a medal last time. This time you've been a bit below par in hockey. So Paris Olympics.
Nikhat could win a boxing gold.
Nikhat could, but then you won 1 already. So to be at par, you have to have at least 1, and between Lavlina and Nikhat, you could get 1. So I've done the calculation. That's the other thing. But I'll give you 2 side stories, which no one's really talking about. And I think those will be the 2 biggest stories of 2024. One is going to be the IPL. And the only thing that I do not like about the elections is that I hope the IPL is not taken away from India.
IPL
send it to Dubai or something. I hope it happens in India. But the side story there that everyone will be focusing on is going to be Rohit Sharma playing under the captaincy of Hardik Pandya. That created quite a bit of a chaos here in Indian cricket. I've heard that a few players aren't happy about this change. Few senior players in Mumbai Indian, they're one of the most successful teams. So Hardik Pandya, the captain, and Rohit Sharma playing under him. That's the one big side story. The other one is that T20 World Cup that I spoke about. And the big debate is whether Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma make it to that T20 team or not.
Okay, and just to add, first of all, the good thing is when Nikhil speaks, you have a smile on your face because he's talking about West Indies, cricket, and all the happy things of life. But to take off from what Rahul said, 2 more elections, which I think will be critical. While we look at the world, one is Jammu and Kashmir, likely to go to polls after 8 years, and a very, very significant election. Actually 9 years. It's a very significant election for Jammu and Kashmir, given all that's happened. Supreme Court has set a deadline of the end of September, so I don't think anyone can get out of that deadline at the moment. It'll be a huge challenge and a huge test, both for the administration and the hope that Kashmir will see a brighter future. And my home state of Maharashtra, which is going to the polls in a manner that, after all that has happened in the last 5 years, it is going to be a really significant landmark election, I think, in Maharashtra. Incredible when I think of it. No state has seen as much of political chaos as Maharashtra. And I always thought it was one of India's most stable states. The last few years have just seen all kinds of twists and turns.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining because every time there's a twist and turn, I can go to Mumbai.
Okay, I'm going to.
So I don't complain too much.
I'm going to ask a difficult question because choosing a big story in 2024 is difficult enough. I think we can all agree that elections are going to be the big thing. But who do we figure is going to be that big newsmaker in 2024?
No, we live in the era of Prime Minister Modi.
Yeah.
I mean, make no mistake. When he was Chief Minister and some of the conversations we had with Chief Minister Modi and people around him, he always gave the impression, or I came away with the impression that he thought of himself as a civilizational figure. Like say King Ashok, who has a reign lasts for 12 years in just the Hindu way of life, that you rule for a certain period of time, and then this is considered to be Chandragupta Maurya's period, or say King Ashok's period. He is, no matter what anybody watching at this time may think of this, he's convinced that this is his period, and he's taking India to a different place from where he inherited it. And in that, the inauguration of the Ram Temple in the beginning of the year in January really marks a civilizational moment where you could agree or disagree, like it or hate it, but the fact is that there will be an India after this and there will be an India before this, because the center of gravity, which was quite left-leaning in our country for the first 70 plus years, has now shifted to the right. And in that interview that I did with Prashant Kishore recently, he says that whoever succeeds PM Modi, whenever that is in the future, will be somebody who's far more hardline than Prime Minister Modi. He says it's inconceivable that will be somebody who's more moderate. And therefore, it really marks the shift of gravity. It is, in some senses, the culmination of a civilizational project where, all that they work towards and really move the center of gravity of our country to a new reality, which, whether you like it, you don't like it, is the new reality which you have to deal with.
Rajdeep, in that political, battlefield of 2024, the national battlefield, I mean, is there space for another newsmaker when you've got Modi there?
Well, there is Modi only, or the Timo factor. Rahul's given me a theme which while he was speaking, thinking of could become a 2024 book. You've
written about the Timo factor.
Rajdeep mentioned the credit. Just chota sa credit, Rajdeep.
There's 2014, how the 2014 the election that changed India. 2019, how Modi won India, and 2024 could be the conquest, if you want to use that word, of India. But look, it appears, as I said at the very outset, Mr. Modi and the BJP are odds-on favorite to win an election. But it's not about election. Is India changing fundamentally in so many different ways? Some for the good, some for the bad. But I think that's my worry. I think I think we need to see the good and the bad. Society is so polarized that we just look at it. We don't look for shades of grey. We don't look for nuance. Either we are celebrating, cheerleading, or we are being perennially antagonistic. I think we are going to have to look at everything that happens in the times in which we live, which are very exciting, but from a slightly, as observers, as sort of ringside observers that we have the privilege to look at. So whether it's the Ram Temple inauguration at the start of the year, the possibility that if the BJP gets a big majority, they'll push ahead with a uniform civil code. All these are contentious, many of these are contentious issues that need greater debate and dialogue. I hope that, that notion of samvad, debate actually is taken forward. We don't get tied up in vivad. I was very disappointed with this parliament session. The CRPC is such a major legislation.
And it's the year end.
It's huge. I mean, think about it. 150-year-old law is being changed. Although, a lot of it is copy and paste, but there are significant changes from the past. Now, these should be debated, I think, a parliament is the ultimate forum to debate it. So I hope that disappointment doesn't continue into 2024. Which is why I always look at Nikhil and smile, because I think, when I watch cricket, I feel, I can deal with Hardik Pandya and Rohit Sharma.
Let's get those smiles.
And all of that. But it's these political battles that are...
But even our cricket team is a overbaked, overhyped team which never delivers on the big moment. See, the BJP election... Once again. The BJP election machine, come the big day, they rise to the occasion and they find a way of winning. Our cricket team just finds a way of capsizing on the big day. They just can't get it together, and this is just the reality.
But for the BJP, there is one challenge, and that's something Amit Shah also mentioned in your interview, Rahul, which is the South. And there's, of course, been a lot of talk of the North-South divide. I think the Andhra elections is something I look forward to, besides the whole 2024 national election. But even if you look at the South, whether the BJP can actually make inroads, Karnataka may be relatively easier, but do you see them really going and making that big bang performance or a difference in a Tamil Nadu or a Kerala? That will be
beyond
a test for them.
Basically.
Beyond Karnataka.
Yeah, but the real battle of that is going to be 2026, when delimitation could come through. Then you're going to really see potential fault lines between North and South, and they won't be easy to sort of reconcile.
No, but there is a very clear formula that seems to be emerging, which is that you increase the overall number of seats in the Lok Sabha. You look at the current percentage of contribution of each state to that aggregate, and even in the expanded Lok Sabha, you ensure that the percentage of contribution stays the same. So the percentage of seats that you have doesn't diminish. So it's not as if you penalize seats that have controlled the population.
We're going to have to see whether they do that. That's
but there are enough indications we have.
That's not the existing formula.
There's no existing formula.
That's the only way you can resolve, one way in which you can resolve the conflict.
The BJP Rajdeep is very acutely conscious
we can look at
of
2026, but yes.
Delimitation, separate democratic newsroom on that.
Why does our team always fail, Nikhil?
So let me answer it. Two parts to that particular question. One, it's a two-way fight in elections, right? So the probability of
cricket is also a two-way fight.
No, you're competing with 7 other countries. So the more chances of you not winning a trophy in cricket than of winning an election.
I'm talking about the big match. There's only one big match.
No, but see, reaching a final is not easy. No, so if you look at all other countries, you win a ICC tournament after like some 10, 12 years. That's how much time it takes for a country.
We haven't won anything in a decade. What have we won?
That's what I'm saying. So it may be like a corner that you need to turn. So it's not going to happen. Look at England, right? When was the last time they won? If you look at each country individually, we focus on India per se. So it's not easy.
No,
right,
I don't know much about cricket, but I constantly hear this. Team India, the biggest problem is that they're chokers.
I mean, to an extent, I think that
that's
happened to them
once again,
in finals.
Choking is if you set it up really nicely and choke towards the end. I mean, they falter right from the beginning in the World Cup finals.
But they get to the final.
Or the semi-final.
They were fine.
But on the big day, boss, a big player shows that he's a big player on the big day. Come the big day, our guys leave their big match game at home.
I know which part of this democratic newsroom is going to go viral.
Okay, but I'll also answer in the election front. All I would want is my wish list for 2024. If BJP does so well winning all elections, all I would want them is to ensure that they can get a right guy elected in the WFI elections. The Wrestling Federation of India, the wrestlers went to the government asking that let's sort this mess out. And I understand that BJP is an election machine. They can win elections at all levels. I would hope that they could get an election win here and get the right candidate at the Wrestling Federation of India election as well. Because as things stand right now, we've got a gentleman who's just a proxy for Brij Bhushan Sharma.
But to take out from your point, I think what I would look forward to, my prayer for India, taking out from what Nikhil just spoke about WFI, is that institutions need to rediscover their spine. Whether it's the Supreme Court, whether it's Election Commission, whether it's us in the media, we need to have the ability to tell truth to power, to play neutral umpires, to ensure that constitutional rights are protected. I see that space slipping. Sorry to sound as if the glass is half empty, but I would like to see far greater accountability across different sectors of life. If someone is charged with sexual harassment by Olympic wrestlers, I would have thought the least that person should do is step aside pending investigation. Step aside as a member of parliament also, because according to me, there are certain serious charges that you face. I think we allow people in power to get away, and we seem to celebrate power more than liberty. I borrowed this line out of a column I read today, but it's stuck in my mind. In India, we celebrate power, don't celebrate liberty often enough. So maybe I'm whistling in the
final time now.
I just believe that maybe I'm a bit more optimistic than you, Rajdeep. Maybe I've seen lesser, and that's why maybe I'm a bit more optimistic in life. But I feel India is heading in the right track. You look at how globally India is spoken of. You look at what we're achieving. We're quite literally reaching the stars, which I'm very happy about. And in 2024, that's my only wish, that we continue doing that. Elections, politics, all set aside. My focus is going to be on space because you can't go wrong there, hopefully.
So, see, this is the beauty of the democratic newsroom. We had two simple questions, which was biggest story of 2024 and newsmaker for 2024. But we've already debated North-South. We've debated whether why the Indian cricket team chokes.
Can I just add one small word? I also hope that the line of control, LOC of sorts, which has come within Manipur, evaporates in this year. I mean, you cannot have metes and cookies.
Which is why we mentioned it first.
Not able to sort of reach out to each other. I was told this story. Today, if you are in Churachandpur, you can't come to Imphal. You've got to go 12 hours to Aizawl and then take a flight. You can't take a 2-hour road journey to Imphal. That's crazy. I mean, these are the things. I hope in India we'll see the stars. We are an aspirational society.
Peace in Manipur in 2024.
The fact is 10% of India still account for 70% of the wealth. Income inequalities are huge. India will be constantly tested, and we must therefore in India constantly, see the glass is half full, but also remember it's half empty.
We all hope. That's the one thing that definitely unites us. It's going to be an exciting 2024. We will continue to talk and fight and bicker about all the big stories because that's what we do here on the Democratic Newsroom. Thanks for watching.